If you have been following me and other people who do what I do, create awareness on issues of mental health and relationships, I'm sure you know that a narcissistic lover is one of the worst lovers that you can have because of the things that they can do to you. So now the next question becomes, how can you avoid being prey to these narcissistic lovers? How can you avoid attracting them? So in this video, I'm going to take you through some of the factors that make you prone to narcissistic lovers. And so let us do this. There are certain factors that actually make some people more prone to narcissists than others. Not everyone would attract a narcissist in other way. That is how I would put it. So what are some of these things that make you, that put you at danger of falling in love or getting carried away or being with a narcissistic lover or a narcissistic spouse? The first one is if you are materialistic or you are carried away by beauty. If you are materialistic, mostly, even though nowadays there are also many who do this, if you are carried away by what a person has, the person who comes and approaches you, the money that they have, the property that they have, you are likely to get carried, you are likely to fall in love with a narcissist. Why is it so? It is because most narcissistic lovers, as you may know, they start with what you call love bombing. This is where they show you a lot of love, and it is through gifts, through money, through doing things for you, taking you for vacations, and they just shower and bomb you with love and everything that surrounds love and money. So if you're a person who gets attracted and is carried away by materialistic things, then you are likely to fall for this person and become blind to any other red flag that they may bring forth. So when you are materialistic, you stand higher chances of finding yourself with a narcissistic person. The same happens, and this mostly occurs with men. This is whereby you find yourself being carried away by beauty. This would predispose a man to a materialistic woman, because, sorry, not materialistic, but narcissistic. This is because you look at the woman, you become blind to everything else she's doing. What is amiss in them? Because actually many narcissists, they show themselves way, during the time of dating. So you can see all the red flags, but guess what you are doing? You are blinded by their beauty. And so you get carried away by them and you proceed and marry them. And then what follows is suffering and, all things that happen as a result of being subjected to narcissistic abuse. So those two, being materialistic and being carried away by beauty. Now, the rest of the factors that I'm going to explain, they are actually related to what we call emotional woundedness. When you are wounded, when you're emotionally wounded, and it is mostly because of your childhood, but also it can be because of both your childhood and past relationships, or either. So if you have been wounded by the two, you are likely to show or to have certain tendencies or certain challenges that then put you at a place where a narcissistic person would actually easily get access to your heart, if I may put it that way. So what are some of these forms of woundedness, or what are some of these impacts of woundedness that predispose you to a narcissistic lover? The first one is low self-esteem. And I combine low self-esteem with what we call low self-worth and a low self-confidence. The three usually go together. Low self-esteem, a person is not really comfortable with who they are or the way they perceive themselves. Look at the word or underline perceive. The way they look at themselves, they are not comfortable with it. They are not confident in their own skin. Like who they are, they don't look at themselves as, in a positive way, if I may put it that way. So if you have low self-esteem, and then we combine it with the low self-worth, when you don't put so much value to yourself, and low self-confident, when you don't believe you have the capacity to, for instance, get good things, what happens is a narcissistic lover, a narcissistic person can carry you away so easily. Because remember, like you have said in the aforementioned point, these people show you a lot of love, the love bombing stage. So they are doing so much, they are working so hard. And because you don't really believe you're worth all this, you are just overwhelmed, you become so emotional. And actually, most people who have narcissistic lovers, you'll catch them actually, narrating and mesmerizing their friends with all the love that I'm getting. Imagine this guy is doing all this. Imagine this woman is, doing this and the other. And what they are not realizing is that it is because they didn't really believe that they could get all this. That is why it is actually shocking them. And then you're looking at that person and you're thinking it's a match made in heaven. And what you are having is a narcissistic person who is exploiting the fact that you don't love yourself enough, that you don't value yourself enough, that you're not confident in yourself enough. That is what they are exploiting. So that is the other factor that predisposes you to a narcissist. Now, before I continue, kindly, if you are yet to subscribe to my channel, kindly do. I really appreciate it. It goes a long way. I'm looking at taking this channel to 1,000 subscribers very soon, at most in a month or two, and also so that you can go to the next level. So kindly support me in this. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. It won't even take you a second, and then hit the like button. I appreciate. So now we go to the third factor, and this is if you have neglected yourself. And I know someone is wondering, what do you mean neglected yourself? Yes. If you abandoned your self-care and your self-love activities, and now someone comes and fills that gap. Remember again, I take you to the first point that this person will love bomb you. So if you have neglected yourself and you don't give you what I would call the basics of self-love and self-care, treating yourself well, setting certain boundaries, buying yourself something good if you're able to buy yourself, having enough sleep, just generally showing yourself all the love and care that you can afford to yourself, taking care of your body and all that. And then a person comes and fills that gap, giving you the things that you don't give yourself. Guess what is likely to happen? You are going to get carried away by this person, and you're not reason. So anyone who tries to tell you that I think this person, whatever they're doing is not normal, you will not hear that, and you'll be wondering, what are you talking about? But it is because you abandoned yourself, you neglected yourself, and now this person, and I need to mention at this point that these people, they have some special eyes for people who have neglected themselves. They will detect how much you have abandoned themselves. They will detect how much you don't love yourself, and then they will try to show you or depict themselves as here to fill the gap, here to give you what you can't give yourself. And guess what is going to happen? They will earn a special part in your heart, and that is from there they are going to now abuse you and do all the miserable things that narcissistic lovers do to those that fall victim to them. So the other one is if you are clingy. Now, I don't know if you understand clinginess. I don't know whether it's clingy or clingy. It depends on who taught you English. People who went through childhood emotional neglect. These are people who are not shown love, they were not shown respect, they were not shown support by their parents or their caregivers or whoever was taking care of them. They tend to become clingy, some. There is another group that actually shuns intimacy, but now I'm talking about the group that becomes clingy. Now, they have a huge void in them, and so what they do is that they are always looking for a person to fill that emotional void. They still have the gap, the gap of love that they were not shown by their parents, by their caregivers. They still have that gap, and they are looking for anyone to fill it. And this is why actually we always recommend that if you are abandoned by your parents, if you are neglected, if you are abused, you should first take time to cultivate self-love. First take time to accept you for who you are unconditionally before you seek another person. Because the moment you bring a person to your heart, to your life in that state, you are likely to be exploited, especially if you fall in the hands of a person who has issues. So clinginess, whereby you stick to a person like a tick. I like giving this example. I know it's not the best, but it describes it very well. Whereby you stick to a person the way a tick will, kwamilia a cow. because it's feeding from that cow. So in the same way, if you have some huge emotional gaps in you, you are likely to kwamilia a human being so that you can try and suck blood and suck, get some life from them, if I may put it that way. And that puts you in a very dangerous position in as far as a narcissistic lover is concerned, because they know to do just that. Remember, I said so. They'll give you exactly what you are looking for. And then before you know it, things have gone too far. Now, the other thing that actually causes people to be clingy, it is when you have what you call a fearful inner child. These are people, again, who are abandoned and they have a lot of fear that they'll be left. So you kwamilia this person so that they don't leave you. You are always looking for them. You are always looking up to them to do for you this or the other. You are always holding on to them so that they don't think of leaving you whatsoever. And that puts you in a situation where you're actually dependent on the person. That is the word. You are dependent on them. So you are dependent on them to remain so that you can validate yourself. Remember, if you were abandoned by your parents when you are young, you are likely to grow up feeling like you are not good enough. So if this person leaves you, then you are left feeling like it's a validation of how less worthy of a person you are. So what do? You will kwamilia this person irrespective of the things that they are going to do to you. Remember, we said some narcissists will actually show themselves, they also show their abuse as early as when you are dating. So if they show themselves and then, you are depending on them like life depends on it, and you can't imagine them leaving you, because it will be like a confirmation that you're not someone worth being with, then you are likely to be blind to everything that they're going to say or to do. And then that is how you find yourself in the trap of a narcissistic lover. So being clingy, again, this is an issue you're supposed to address before you look for love. It predisposes you to narcissistic people. Now, lastly, this is actually supposed to be a good thing, but it ends up being exploited by narcissists, people who are empathic. We all know that people who are empathic, they put themselves in the shoes of the others. So if they see a person suffering, then they are likely to imagine, it's themselves who are going through that, and then move and try to fix the situation for that person. Now, this becomes dangerous because we know, for one, that narcissistic people, they are manipulative. So whenever maybe you decide or you find out there is something wrong that they did to you, and you're thinking to leave them based on the basis of that, they will depict themselves as helpless, as actually people who need help. And some will even kneel before you and cry and tell you, please give me a chance. They will even try to recruit your relatives all over the place. Please come and convince him not to leave me. And so because you are empathic and you give people multiple chances, guess what? That is how you find yourself sticking with a narcissistic person way into marriage, and even, all the way to your death. So being an empathic is a good thing. It helps people, they be compassionate. They are able to move in and help other people in the things that they are struggling with more easily. But now, the one thing that makes an empathic person vulnerable to a narcissistic lover is that you almost have zero boundaries. So you don't have like, if it gets to a certain point, if I'm affected to this extent, I'm not going to allow a person to. I will not help you, even if you are you're in a challenge, because I'm drowning in the process. So these people, you'll keep giving multiple chances. They'll keep being there for the narcissistic person. And actually, this also predisposes them to what we call trauma bonding, whereby you're being abused, but you're actually addicted to that abuse in a way. And it is because it's like the more they are abused, the more they feel for this guy, for this woman, and the more they want to help them, and the more they get hooked. Because these people, and actually for narcissists, we know that they usually sandwich the love bombing, the abuse with the love bombing. So when you're trying to think, I don't think I deserve this, I think I should run away from this person adds another dose of love, and you just get confused until the next instance of abuse. And then you're there asking yourself, okay, so he does this to me, he has abused me, but he also loves me, he also showed me 1, 2, 3, so I'm going to try and fix them try and help them, tolerate them. Maybe they are going to go back. You know, you give so many chances. And I usually say that you'd rather, actually this is the case, you'd rather have a broken relationship than a broken marriage. So if you are dating a person and you realize that they're narcissistic, no, that is where your empathic nature is not going to help you. It will mess you up big time, because you need not bear with the person, then you end up getting married to them and then suffering for the rest of your life. So being empathic, if you know yourself to be such, you need to be really careful so that you don't fall prey to narcissistic people. Now, I really hope that I have taught you something, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. Now, I'm really trying to make these videos as much as possible. I've taken a long break because of some things that I was going through that could not allow me to shoot. I'm happy that you're here, and I would like to you to continue following me. We continue learning. If you'd like to work with me, if you'd like to work with me through your healing journey, through your relationship challenges, my number, I'll put it here, and then you can reach out to me, and you shall have online sessions. I do online sessions, so wherever you are from the world, we can be able to meet via video call. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, kindly, what are you waiting for? Unagojea nini jameni? Kindly do this for me. Subscribe, and I really appreciate. Thank you for being with me. It's always a pleasure seeing you, and see you in the next video.